So today, boys and girls, we're going to review quickly a problem from last week, and I want us just to kind of go over it to keep it fresh in our mind. So here is our word problem. Sally is 36 inches tall. Sue is 10 inches taller. How tall is Sue? So first off, we need to underline and bracket. So Alex, what should we underline? Right, how tall is Sue? That's what we're trying to find out. That's the question we have. Okay, Alex, can you tell us what to bracket? Right, Sally is 36 inches, and then Sue is 10 inches taller. We kind of need all of that because we need to know if Sue is taller or shorter. Okay, so now our next step is to think about who or what are we talking about. And I'm going to circle that. You don't have to, but this is just for our benefit. I'm going to circle Sally and I'm going to circle Sue because those are the two people we are talking about. Now, we need to decide in this diagram up here, this little graph that they have us fill in, who is going to be, so we're going to put either Sally or Sue on the line. And we need to think about who is the taller one or what one would fit in this spot. Okay, so is it going to be Sally or is it going to be Sue? Who is taller? Right, Sue is taller. Okay, and then obviously we would put Sally over on this side. And then we need to think about too, what are we talking about? And we already said, sorry, that's not showing very well. Okay, so we're talking about their height. We're not talking about how much they weigh. We're not talking about how old they are. We're talking about their height. So we're talking that Sue is taller. So I'm just going to write taller over here. And then we're going to say over here, Sally is the shorter person. All right, and then we also have the difference. Okay, so do we know the height of Sue? No, Alex already told us what we're trying to find out is how tall is Sue. So we do not know that. Right now, that is kind of the question mark. Okay? Now, we do know how tall Sally is, and she is 36 inches tall. So we write that in. All right? And then, because we don't know this one, well, we must know this one then. We must know already the difference between the two kids. Over here, we had bracketed. Sue is 10 inches taller, so that's the difference. So we're going to put 10 inches in that spot. Okay, so now we're still wondering how tall is Sue. What kind of number sentence would we write to figure out how tall is Sue? Okay, we already know Sally is 36 inches, and we know that Sue is 10 inches taller than Sally. So, Haiti, you are right. We are going to add this time. So 36 plus 10, because we're going to add these two to figure out this rectangle, which is going to be Sue's height. So 36 inches plus 10 inches equals 46, and make sure you label it here. You don't have to here. If you want to, that's really good, but you don't have to. But then you do need to label it here. So 46 inches is our answer. So how tall is Sue? If they gave you another line, you would write 46 inches tall. All right, so just try to keep these steps in mind. Always underline and bracket so we know what the important information is, what we're trying to find out. Then on the lines underneath, you need to write who or what are we comparing. In this case, it's comparing two girls. And then sometimes they give us this and sometimes they don't. You have to think, well, are they talking about height? Are they talking about age? Are they talking about page numbers? Whatever. So you have to figure that out. And then the difference is always this one up here. All right, good job, boys and girls. So now we're going to move on to lesson 88 in math. And if you were in school, you would have on your desk a bunch of these kind of colored tiles. Okay, So think about what each of these tiles would look and feel like. Now, if you had just one of these tiles, how big is that tile? Right, it is 1 inch by 1 inch. So we call these colored tiles 1 square inch. On your worksheet today, your lesson worksheet, you are going to estimate how many of these square tiles would fit in here. So think in your head, how many tiles, how many of these would fit? Let's make an estimate. Is it going to be 200? No, you're right. It's not going to be 200. Is it only going to be 2? Nope, it's not going to be 2. I will do it. So make your estimate in your head, and then I will put them in here. Let's hope I have enough here. Okay. And so we want to make sure they're all covered up. And let me grab another one. All right, so I have filled in that rectangle. I have two rows, and in each row there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this rectangle that we made is a 2 by 6 inch rectangle. So I needed a total of 12. So on your paper you would write this is 12 square inches. And if we took and measured that with our ruler, we would see that, yes, this is, now remember you have to not go at the end of your ruler, some of you, because some of your rulers are kind of funny like mine. You go where the first mark is, and that measures 2 inches. So I would write 2 inches here, and then I would measure the top. Okay, and that would be equal to 6 inches. Okay, so that's what we said when we filled this in. It was 2 inches this way, or 2 rows, and then going this way, it was 6 total. Okay, so 2 inches in width and 6 inches in length. Okay, let's practice on the next one. Let's go to B. Now, estimate, you know that this one up top was 2 inches in width. Is this going to be bigger or smaller? Right, Haley, or Hadley, excuse me. It is bigger. All right, so it is 3 this way. And then this way, is it going to be, Haiti? Right, it is smaller this way because going this direction, we only need 4 to go across. How many will we need altogether though? Let's see if I can fill it in for us. Oh, look. It is still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it is still 12 square inches. We put in 12 of these squares, so we call it 12 square inches. So again, let's write that in our circle. And then let's measure. Let's make sure. So we were estimating, or we were filling in, and we said 3 this way and 4 this way. Let's take our ruler and figure out if we were right. Is it 3 inches? It is. And then going this direction, it is 4 inches. Okay, so 3 inches, meaning the 3 the 3 rows, and then this way 4 in each row. Okay, so 3 inches times 4 inches equals 12 square inches. All right, we're not going to do C, but let's move on to D. All right, hopefully you can see all this. Well, maybe we can't. All right, let's not do D. You guys can tell that that is 1 column and then how many we would need to fit. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way here. So it is 1 by 6, and it is, how many squares we needed was 6 square inches. So this was a 6, and this was 1. Okay, let's do C, I guess. That one will be easier to show you if it shows up, hopefully here. Okay, you can kind of get the feel of where it is. So let's fill in our tiles, or I will fill it in for us. Okay, this one is smaller, but it's still 2 squares going this direction, so that would be our 2 inches. Okay, when we measure that, or we can see that this is, we know already this is 1 inch and this is 1 inch, so 2 inches that way. And then the going across, how many are in each row? 1, 2, 3. And so if we measured it, it would be 3 inches. So that is a total of how many squares did we use? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 square inches. All right. Boys and girls, mathematicians have an easier way of figuring this out. We could, every time we wanted to figure out the area, that's what this is called, we're figuring out the area, we could take our tiles and we could lay it down and we could count it. But there's an easier way of doing that. Mathematicians have come up with a formula, and that formula is area equals the length of it, so we say length, the L stands for length, times the width. Okay, so area of this one would be, the length is 3 inches times 2 inches, and that equals 6. So the area of this rectangle equals 6, and then we have to write square, and you can abbreviate it like that, inches. So we're abbreviating it by saying square inches. So we are going to not work with our tiles anymore. They're fun to play with and work with and stuff, but we're going to pretend we are mathematicians. And I made up a new sheet for us. All right. So if we were trying to figure out the area of this rectangle, I already measured it, and I measured it was 3 inches this way and 7 inches this way. So using that formula that I just talked about, we can figure it out. So Maylee, what was that formula? Right, it was area equals length times width. Okay, so we're trying to find out the area. How much is in this whole spot? And the length we already set up here. Sorry, you can't see that so well, boys and girls. Hopefully our document camera will behave here pretty soon. But it is 7 inches times the width, which was 3 inches. So the area equals this. Okay. And what is 7 groups of 3, or 7 times 3 is, Maylee? Right, 21. Do we just put 21 inches? No, because it's like we're putting in the squares. So before we label, whenever we're doing area, we have to say 21 square inches. So we have to label it like this. All right, so anytime you do area, when you want to know how many of these square tiles would fit in there, you have to do it like this. 21 square inches. Okay, let's go down to the next one. All righty, so Bentley, if this is